What am I looking for? I'm so not used to doing this on Discord.
Hey, welcome everyone. This is a bit of a strange match right now. We've been trying to get this to you in a timely manner. Not necessarily as timely as we'd have liked, but here we are now. We have the Phendrana Drifters versus Shacktool's Digging Game. Jet082 versus Azder. I'm Esmar, and as always, I'm being joined by somebody else. Tracy, who are you?
I'm Tracy. I looking forward to this match. Really good, really good one. Jet and Azure, top players. Of course, that's what you expect when you get down to the conference finals. Yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah. So ignore the man behind the curtain furiously getting things ready here. Back-to-back restreams is sympathies to Kono Tyron here. But we've got the power matchup. It is going to be AD keys, all dungeons, key sanity, vanilla swords, hard item functionality.
No, hard item pool, but we don't do.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one we do, but yes, okay, hard item pool. So yeah, that's what we've got going on, and they should be getting started in just a bit here.
Yeah, and Jet, as the higher seed, he's the one that chose Key Sandy, which anybody that knows Jet, that should be no surprise to anyone. It's probably his favorite mode. As you said, well, if we're going to do Key Sandy, we're going to do all dungeons. So that was his choice. And then Jet decided to make it open, which, with vanilla swords being rolled by Sahabot, and, Sahabot being pretty kind. We got vanilla swords. We got no animizer, none of that stuff, and we got hard mode. And I don't really think hard mode's a big deal to these guys. I mean,
yeah, especially not with vanilla swords.
Yeah,
to be honest,
because they're gonna get 3 of those swords. The 4th one they don't care about. We don't know which ones. They'll get the uncle sword, but in all dungeons, it can actually be more convenient potentially to grab the ped sword than one of the other swords. So. It really depends on what the pendant dungeons are, what the red crystal dungeons are.
Azder taking an early lead here due to restream issues. I imagine we are going to be seeing both of our runners start momentarily. All dungeons is a fairly good response to key sanity, just because it sort of increases the amount of places that you have to search, and thus by extension the possibility you have to find all of those keys that you need.
Yeah, and there's that sync. And seriously, shout outs to Kono Tyron for doing all this, because it's been pretty hectic. This race was supposed to start earlier with technical difficulties. We were not able to air this on the Speed Gaming Network, so I had to move it over here, but also meant that we had to move it to after the previous race, which I hope you all enjoyed. Looked like it was a really good one.
Oh, yeah. The start of that reverse sweep is always exciting. But we have another race going on right now. No reverse sweep going to be happening here. We have that guaranteed sword on Uncle.
Well, I hope not, because that means someone goes up 2-0. More fun if it's 1-1. But first game here, we got the Uncle. I think we're gonna get very likely an escape start with that vanilla sword. I think it just makes a lot of sense to just do it now. And it sure looks like, neither one is saving and quitting out of the chest. So they're going to probably both do the escape here.
Yeah, with that guaranteed sword there, this is a fairly decent start. The one thing you could say is, okay, all dungeons, if it becomes an Aga seed, you can do Aga's tower right after the escape. But being able to knock this out early, I think, is worth the potential time loss of not bundling those together.
And of course, by Aga, we mean Aga for Dark World, because they will eventually have to do Aga at some point.
Yeah, exactly. But it also means that jumping the gun and doing it early isn't nearly as big of a gamble.
Yeah, of course. And the thing about Aga is, of course, we always talk about those Aga Tower keys. They're the ice rod of this. And actually, and when we say the ice rod, it's a lot worse than the ice rod, because literally that second Aga Tower key can be in literally 215 locations of the game. Lumberjack, of course, being the only one it can't be. So Aga seed's a little bit, Aga for Dark World just doesn't happen quite as often, because you have those extra 2 conditions to make it something you have to do. Now, it is not uncommon to see them have to get progression in Aga Tower. In fact, in the Game 5 between Shacktool's Digging Game and WJDTTP, they had to get their Moon Pearl in, I want to say the second chest in Aga Tower, or maybe in the first chest, but it was definitely in Aga Tower. So
the small keys we're going to be looking out for here throughout the race. These runners are going to hope early on are going to be those Castle Tower 1, Castle Tower 2. They will not be referred to as 1 and 2 in game. But also Swamp Small is important, and Pod and to a lesser extent TR Smalls can be a very big factor in deciding how these players route going forward.
Now the interesting question is, either one of them going to try and do the Dark Cross with just the sword? Nope, Azder's going to save and quit. Looks like Jet going to take a Death Warp and go ahead and just do Dark Cross right now.
Yeah, it's out of logic, but it's a really nice time to route this in, especially with with the small key not showing up. There's no again, small key could be anywhere, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to do it backwards when checking the back of escape. So doing it now does kind of make sense, just in case it's a really important item you'd like to have right now. This is the best time to grab it.
Yeah, I think you can make the argument either way. I think it's a good play to do it. It's a good play not to do it.
Yeah, it's a good play, and it's not a bad skip.
Yeah, well said. Now, if Jet finds something really nice here, that's going to definitely be advantage Jet. If he finds something less good, it's one of those things where he probably makes that time back later because Azder probably eventually gets to it.
Yeah, he's covered if it's nothing important. He's sort of covered here. But on the flip side, Azder here getting a little bit of a lead. It is the Cane of Samaria, so Azder's gonna have to go pick that up.
He's gonna have to pick that up. The good news for Azder, it's not something he needs immediately, so he'll eventually get to it.
The one worrying thing for that, the thing to watch out for is whether or not Azder is suckered into a Samaria-less Ice Palace, because AD keys can kind of get a little wibbly, and whether or not you. It's like you do at some point, especially in these these higher tier matches, you can't avoid Ice Palace just because you don't have the cane, and you will a lot more often see players decide to go into Ice because it looks like it's the right play at the time. So Jet, if it becomes one of those seeds, Jet might have an advantage with that cane, but that's a little ways off yet. So we've got to see what Kakariko has in store for us.
Well, we got a Bombos. Small key to pod, our first of many pod small keys. Skullwood small key, which is nice to find one of those.
Just one. Any more than that is a little gratuitous.
Yeah, Desert Palace small key. And we saw a piece of heart on the Lumberjack ledge, so we're not going to have to worry about killing Aga for the item.
Yeah, so a lot of the small keys, most of the small keys are really kind of they're kind of nice to have before you go to the dungeon in case it becomes relevant. Desert Palace is one of those. If you're ending up going to Desert to clear it and have the opportunity to do those checks, that's very nice to have. We do find the flippers, so no sequence breaking Ice Palace.
Boots early, that's nice.
Boots. We got both. We got flipper on one foot, boot on the other, hammer.
And there's a hammer.
This is a really nice Kakariko, especially considering that we've got Key Sanity going on. A lot of other things that those things could be, other than boots, hammer, and flips.
Yeah, and funny those bombs that Azure just picked up on the bottle vendor. Considering he's kind of low right now, not a bad pickup.
Yeah, Dweb in chat pointing out with the hammer and the flippers showing up. If Mitts show up, Ice Palace could be in logic already. Moon Pearl notwithstanding. Yeah, and a couple of gloves. Although you can Ice Palace, and it'd be really funny if no one ever does this, but you see this occasionally in like cross keys. Bombos doing keep getting in.
Yep, doing the fairy revival in Ice Palace with just flippers and mitts, but we do need mitts for that.
Thing. You can in any dungeon really, if you don't have the pearl and you can get access to the dungeon, as you would be able to with Ice Palace without the Moon Pearl. If you take a death in the dungeon, don't even need the fairy. When you respawn, you will not be a bunny anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just a bunny revival. Did I say fairy revival? I meant bunny revival.
Yeah, bunny revival, yeah.
Yeah, but you see that a lot in cross keys because you go into the dark world and you have entrances
and any of those
dungeons.
Entrances could just be a dungeon, and you're like, okay, dungeon. Well, I guess I'll die and then explore the dungeon.
Yep.
I'm not supposed to, but who cares? So yeah, Jet, going through Kakariko here, a little bit behind, picks up the boots as Azder heads towards the South Shore.
Yeah, Jet seemingly a little bit behind because he went and picked up that cane at Dark Cross, but he's going to make that time back up because at some point Azder's going to have to pick that up. And we'll see the dam here.
Damn. Just 10 arrows.
Just 10 arrows so far. And no hook shot or mirror to make this quicker.
Okay, Jet, going an interesting direction here. Decided, yeah, to go straight for those boots checks.
Yeah, this is not a bad play.
Especially with without the extra incentive to go to back of escape, you don't necessarily know when it'll be important to come back over here.
Yeah, I don't know when those gloves are going to show up.
Yeah.
As you're skipping the blue boomerang, a nice item, but definitely not needed for anything.
Yeah, not good enough that it's worth walking all the way around to pick that up.
Well, some people would say it is, but definitely
you got to think about how much time it's going to save you. Some people like to use that boomerang swag in Ganon's tower, but
yeah, that's actually one of the strats that Azure doesn't do. So for him, he wouldn't grab it for that in particular. Okay, what do we? And of course, freezing in the middle of Mini Moldorm. Oh, we see an ice rod. At least we won't have an ice rod hunt. And we missed it that we did see a Castle Tower small key there in the back of the tavern. I'm going to assume that Azure did pick that up, even though it's on the tracker. Okay. So the statement in chat about Ice Rod being pendant TR, it's irrelevant. It's all dungeons. We're going to do it regardless.
And going all the way over here to Ice Rod Cave is a fairly gimme play. Interesting. One thing you could do here with the boots is set up the water walk and check some of those flippers checks a little bit quicker. As they're opting not to do that, I think probably going to. Well, what is Azder doing here?
He's going to turn that mushroom immediately.
Yeah, flipper, straight there.
And since you did after a save and quit, if this is nothing, he can just go ahead and reset out of it.
Yes, yeah. So that's a heads up, because if you come this way through the water checks, then you don't have that save and quit fresh. Now,
interesting, because if when Jet gets that mushroom, he could choose to do the fake powder first if he wants to. He does have the hammer and the cane to do it with. And bombs, I think this is this is a reset.
Gonna reset after that. So he knows that those bombs are not important. So now he has that. He's thinking, okay, well, now I have the mushroom in case I find the cane of Samaria.
Yep.
So you can do the fake powder. Or pretend powder, as I like to call it. Keep that alliteration going. Fake flippers,
works for
powder,
me.
Bogus boots.
So Azure with no bombs. It looks like he's going to go buy some. So he's aware of that. Oh, no, he's going to go over to Hobo first. And there's some bombs sitting there on Lake Ilea Island that he can't pick up. Where are we? Headed towards Zora?
Going to the waterfall.
With 400 rupees?
He didn't do Hobo.
I don't like this play to Zora until you have the 500 rupees. Looks like he's just having trouble with the pool, because swimming in Link to the Past is kind of a pain. Okay, now we get to see what the rest of Mini Moldorm Cave is. We do have a small key to Pod. And a moon pearl.
Okay,
and a lamp in the waterfall cave. So when Azure goes for that cane smart, he is gonna be able to do it faster. So that at least is something for him.
I feel like if somehow the second Castle Tower Small shows up, they've got to be thinking logical Aga Dark World access.
Well, shoot, even if the castle second key doesn't show up, I might just do it for the 2 checks, and in Azure's case, also getting Dark Cross. And I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but it's a much stronger tell in Key Sanity if that's your logical Dark World access.
Oh, for sure, because
you end up seeing all of those items really early. It becomes much more suspicious.
Okay, not doing Dark Cross. Ooh, I would have. Yeah,
I get it. I get not doing Dark Cross.
With the lamp, I don't. It's right there. Except, yeah, one little problem. We can't actually get in
jumped
yet.
the
No
gun there a little
cape, and still isn't doing Dark Cross. So hopefully that means that by
See,
the time
I was saying that, but even I was aware that it wasn't quite there yet, because we did need to find one of those 2 items. So yeah, a little blunder there on Azder's part, but not a super expensive one, because didn't really have that much else to do over there anyway.
Still has this is a problem though. He still has no bombs, and he's heading over toward oh, and he didn't. Oh,
man,
gloves.
Azder skipping all of the good checks that Jet's doing, and again, yeah, I really don't agree with skipping Hobo there. If that item is in logic, you just go for it.
And never mind, Boots will take care of that entry.
Yeah, and yeah, I was about to point that out. I was like, yeah, you can Boots that, which is why, incidentally, it's a common first check location in open boots.
Yes.
Or lots of boots.
Yeah, you see, we saw that a lot in the SG Live setup when they did the open boots.
Yeah, because it's basically the best chest density you can get right out of the gate. Like 3 screen transitions, maybe 4, and then boom, you've got 4 checks already done, and it can really inform the rest of your routing. Jet picking up that lamp.
Yeah,
maybe we'll remember that you can't do that.
Yeah, Jet has Dark-World access. Still, yeah, no Zora money, but yeah, he does have Dark-World access. I'm gonna orphan Zora here.
Yeah, with Dark-World access, I kind of feel like orphaning Zora isn't the worst play in the world right now. It's kind of unfortunate for azder, because now Jet's gonna be going and doing Hype Cave left.
Yeah, azder gets another pod small key. Yeah, I mean, Azder's going to get gated to these pretty soon, so he's going to have to do these flippers checks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the problem would be, it could be interesting if the mitts are deep here in Eastern, or rather, the other glove upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like it's better if they're not.
Right, better
just
for
because
Azder,
it might be a while before he gets mitts at the hobo. So far, a red boomerang, a piece of heart, a heart container, bombs, and a small key to Ganon's tower. So not a whole lot in the Hype Cave. That small key to Ganon's tower would only become significant if they have to do a large portion of the basement. And don't find a whole lot of Ganon's tower small keys. Usually you have enough to do all of Ganon's tower basement if you have to. And a lot of times you don't even have to do the basement.
Yeah, if you don't have to do the basement, you can grab the 1 small key that you need from the basement in that second room, off to the left.
Okay, Azder's got 1 more check here in Eastern. And if he thinks about it, he could get the rupees from the back of Eastern, because you don't need a key to get into there. Oh no, you can't, because you need the big key for that. So never mind. It would have been a good. Yeah, you need the big key to get back there, so you can't do that. Yeah, I was thinking, because it would have been enough to get him to Zora, but oh well.
Oh, and there's one of our.
That's probably that should be a male upgrade. We haven't, because the way so the way hard mode works, so they're not going to get anything more than green mail. They'll get 3 swords, but we know where all the swords are, so the last one of those, if they were to, for whatever reason, pick it up, would be the green 20. But the heart pieces are 16 heart pieces that they can get, and that leaves 7 heart containers. But it's not like there are 16 heart pieces and 8 that are automatically green 20s. What'll happen is after they pick up 16 heart pieces, the 8 remaining ones will turn into green 20s. And same thing with the heart containers, with the exception of the Sank heart.
Yeah, and so for those of you just joining us right now, we're Link to the Past randomizer league. We've got the Fendrana Drifters versus Shacktool's digging game. And right now, Jet has picked up 2 key items that Azder has kind of neglected, I guess, until... I'm
going to get 1 right now.
Until right now, to pick up. The glove that Jet has was on Hobo. And that's the Cane of Samaria. So Jet got that a little earlier. It didn't really pay off because he wasn't able to use it. And I imagine Azder is going to run into those gloves before too terribly long.
He's running out
of course, the other ones.
He's literally running out of places to go. Yeah. So
if the other gloves show up, that's bad news bears. But
This
Looks like he might be
an
going to
Agina?
desert. Yeah.
Well, all he can do is Agina. So if
And he
Agina's
can take
something,
a peek at Desert Ledge, so I like doing this over just Hobo.
yeah, and
Especially
if
since Agina's Cave gives you the opportunity to potentially get a little bit of extra Zora money, squeeze a little bit out there.
yeah, Agina's good here because if it's there's a small key on the Desert Ledge. If it's something good, it might be a while before Jet gets there. It looks like Jet took a death warp in Skull Woods. And, if it's nothing, eventually Jet probably gets, again, this is AD keys. I mean, it is a lot of modes really don't reward you for thoroughness. AD keys, if there's any mode that rewards you for thoroughness, it's AD keys. And unfortunately, yeah, he's just resetting that. Okay. Not that matters either way.
Well, if you reset, it gives you the time back on the end screen.
There you go. Okay, starting at Sanctuary. Where are we going from Sanctuary?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, Bonk Rocks.
Given that Azder only has the one bomb, I think that's heads up. Saves the bomb.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I'd rather have one bomb than 20 extra rupees.
Oh, for sure.
0 bombs. You usually don't think that much about running out of bombs, especially with the the bush crab bomb drop. But what's picking up? You have to sort of route in a bush crab at that point. May as well save the one bomb because you're kind of out of places that you really, really, really need them.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's going now. Jet's gonna go ahead and check the
fake powder, I believe. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah,
yeah,
you could do that.
Ooh, is he short on bombs and CAC?
Possibly.
No,
he's getting money.
He's just farming. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, this is where you farm if you don't have a glove.
That's right. Hope he's not forgetting the hobo. I know the hobo is not one of his more favorite checks.
I mean,
seeing him, but it's with the flippers. You do it.
He's probably gonna go. I mean, it's kind of hard. They're not kind of on the way to each other.
No, they really aren't.
You don't want to go to hobo and not have money to go to Zora afterwards, I feel. And likewise, you don't want to, I mean, like, if you're going to Zora, you're going to want to check hobo, too.
Yep. So this will give him enough money for Zora, and he'll be able to do both. Meanwhile, Jet's going to start looking in Thieves Town.
Yes, this routing, the decision to skip hobo, it's often one that, it doesn't really hurt that bad, because if there's nothing there, harm no foul, pick it up later when it's convenient. But when it's so hard required like this, yeah, picking it up earlier when you need to, if it's an important item, can save you time cleaning up all of the other checks Azder's done instead.
Yep. He wouldn't have had that extra bit of farming he had to do, just little things like that.
And another problem is now Azder's sort of suckered himself into committing to Zora after this too, almost.
Nah, he might choose not to do that right away.
Yeah, he could, but it's like he spent that time farming. He almost kind of has to find some way to go and grab that. Maybe.
No, I disagree. And so does he. Because it looks like he's heading straight over to Village Outcast.
I'm well known for always being right. So.
Actually, where
always completely accurately guess the intentions of their owners.
Yeah, back of escape. That's where he's headed. Meanwhile, I missed that Jet got that big key over there in Thieves Town, so we'll be able to full clear this, except the big chest, because I'm pretty certain we have not seen. No, do we have? Oh wait, Tracker says we have a small key, so we'll be able to full clear Thieves Town.
Not much. That
does not. Yeah, sorry, that does not happen in Key Sanity. Did they switch it up here on us or something? Because it's not often that we get to go into Thieves Town with the small key and the big key. And let's get a piece of heart in the attic.
Yeah, so now with that glove, Azder's probably going to follow Jet's lead and do Hype Cave left, and then probably into Village after that. Just because that's no hype.
Nah, he's gonna
probably grabbing.
This is the information from the bomb.
Vendor. It is all dungeons, but this does give you the important stuff that you need to know. Skullwoods and Eastern Palace.
Yeah, and he needs bombs anyway. Because you need 2 for Hype Cave. He only had 1.
Only having 1 does make Hype Cave pretty difficult.
And knowing that, I think that may be even a little more important with vanilla swords, because that is one of your swords. Another piece of heart in the back of Thieves Town. And a small key to Turtle Rock in the big chest. Those small keys to Turtle Rock can become very important. You need 3 to clear the dungeon, 4 to clear it logically. 4 to clear the dungeon. 3 will let you beat Trinex, but it will force you to orphan the lava chest, and that can have stuff in there for you.
Yeah, and so if you're in a go mode situation, you don't need any more items. You can safely skip that chest, as it could contain nothing of consequence to you. And by a similar vein, Palace of Darkness can be full cleared out of logic with, I believe, 4 keys and the bomb jump, or the hammer jump.
Yeah, 4 keys if you're willing to route through the bow side several times and use the hammer jump to skip the door into the dark maze. Ideally, you'd like to have at least 5 so you can unlock that front door.
But in Key Sanity, sometimes the amount of things you can potentially find in pod really makes it, you know, you really have to ask that question. Do you hold out until you have 5 keys to get that really nice quick pod? Or do you, I can get everything in there. I don't want to leave whatever important is in there. And that really requires a lot of experience in trying to figure out, how to figure out what could be in there.
And that comes
ought to be in there.
That comes down to, what other things can I do at the moment? Do I have a bow? That makes a difference. Big key to Ice Palace. That's a nice one to have, and logically needed, but, not actually needed.
Yeah, it does allow you to open the big chest in Ice Palace, which can be one of those chests that you a lot of the time end up, I'm gonna hope that doesn't have anything,
Yeah, there are a few keys that turn into a lot of times fetch quests.
It doesn't make sense if you can clear Ice Palace to hold out for the big key to do it. So sometimes in a lot of these 80 keys races, you will see runners forced to go back into Ice Palace once they find the big key to go check that chest. Yeah,
Ice Palace big chest, Swamp big chest, Skullwoods big chest. The certain areas like the right side of desert, a few places like that, really just become fetch quests because if you don't have the keys to do them the first time. Thieves Town big chest is another one. I'm not. Did the big key and the small key show up here? I did not see where Jet got those.
If the small key wasn't in the front of Thieves Town, I have to imagine it was in Skullwoods. Because azder has not been to Skullwoods.
No, he has not. So this is really unfortunate. He's going to miss that small key in the basement to Turtle Rock. Now, it might not matter.
Rock, that's what it was.
Yeah. It might not matter. It just depends on where the other Turtle Rock small keys, and is there something in that lava chest?
Now, if this was key drop sanity, then we'd have a ball.
Oh my god, I've watched some of that. Like, it just looks awful.
Ooh, nice magic pixel by azder.
Yeah, very nicely done. Okay, Jet gonna check it, give us a new check over here on the pyramid ledge.
Yeah, the sort of rarely seen catfish into pyramid.
Yeah, I didn't see what was that catfish. Catfish played a huge role in the deciding game last week in the previous round. Azure playing In the Name of DT. Azure had gotten a Castle Tower small key.
Oh yeah,
at Catfish.
On Catfish.
Okay, that's a TBD. But yeah,
I don't think we saw a check of that ledge.
Anyway, so Azure finding the Castle Tower small on Catfish, and DT never got there, and that was the race.
Yeah, Catfish is a lot of people. I feel like the Catfish is one of those checks that's unfairly maligned. People complain about the Catfish, Oh, this stupid catfish had the item I needed. And it's like, man, he's just trying to help out. You stop by, he'll give it to you.
Okay, so Jet here is gonna go ahead and go into pod with those 3 small keys. He'll probably go ahead and open that front door. No bow to go down the bow side, no bottle to potion glitch it, and would have to do a mimic clip.
Yeah,
we'd have to mimic clip to do it.
I'm not super familiar with Jet's racing. Maybe he does the mimic clip. I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me if he does it. It's so slow in this situation. I can't see him doing that.
With the hammer though, it does allow it. With the hammer and that many keys, there are so many chests he can grab.
Oh, I know. But he is going to
go
ahead.
He's going to open the... Yeah, I would do this. This stuff is logically accessible. Well, I mean, I'm not super familiar with keys. Disclaimer.
Okay,
so maybe
pod small keys
does get different.
So the pod small keys, the locations that are in logic with 3 keys, I should say the locations that aren't. So the boss isn't in logic. The dark maze isn't in logic. The Harmless Hellway isn't in logic. The big key chest isn't in logic. The others you should be able to get to, except obviously you can't get to the Bowlock side.
But yeah, I would. That being said, like, prioritizing these chests in particular.
Yep.
Makes sense because you can grab them. You can grab quite a few of them actually, and might be worth it. He's gonna go back, which is a great move. Yeah, and
probably what you do here. Maybe you save this last small key, or maybe you use it for Harmless Hellway to get back and do a hammer jump to get over to the 2 dark maze chests. Obviously, you can't check the big chest because no big key. Small key to swamp. That's a very important small key.
Especially and with that mirror showing up right afterwards.
Well, we just got access to Swamp Palace. Can't clear it because no hook shot.
And that mirror is actually a fantastic thing to find.
Hookless swamp, anyone?
Hey, stranger things have happened. That's actually quite a few chests that are available without that hookshot in swamp now. But yeah, I mean, there's no way you don't hammer yump here. Otherwise, you're just leaving those 2 chests on the table. They're not in logic, but when it's 2 of them, you don't care.
Looks like Azure may be doing some of these same things. I think Azure just going straight to pod. Yeah, the only bad thing about the hammer jump here is you are leaving the big chest very much orphaned. Becomes another one of those key fetch quests. But we got mitts, so it definitely pays off here.
Out of logic mitts is kind of that you don't even care about the first half of that, It's mitts. You don't care how out of logic they are.
Well, you do need to kind of keep track of it.
You need to keep track of it,
because mitts, it takes 6 small keys to put that location in logic. So that means all 6 small keys are going to be available without mitts. Oh yeah, and Azure actually has 4 pod small keys, so this is going to be even easier for him. He might choose to use the last one, or he'll be able to save the last one if he wants to save it for the boss. Because Jet having just picked one up at Eastern, Azure having done Eastern earlier. But I have no doubt that Azure's going to leave here with a pair of mitts in hand.
I actually think before long we see Jet head up the mountain.
And this is really interesting. Azure's going to do a mimic clip. This is something I know he can do. And sometimes he gets it really quickly. Sometimes not so quickly.
This could be big. Maybe he finds something like mitts over here on Bowlock side.
Well, it won't be mitts. We saw the mitts. But could a hook shot?
It could, yeah, hook shot would be sort of the, dare I say, only thing. Flute wouldn't be bad.
Flute, it could be a bow. Don't forget, we have progressive. No, well, yeah, could Bowlock bow. It could absolutely be a bow.
It could be a Bowlock bow. Yeah, there are 2 bows.
There are still 2 bows. The second one, of course, will show up as a green 20.
The Mimic Clip, to explain it, I actually don't know that much about it, but suffice it to say, it's just one of those things where the game doesn't know what to do when you only do something for 1 frame, which I think was a reasonable expectation at the time, that Nintendo had, that players weren't going to be doing things for only 1 frame at a time.
You actually did that pretty quickly. So, I mean, not as fast as
I
even
have
the
seen that
potion
take
glitch, but yeah.
much
Yeah, absolutely.
longer.
That was a pretty good one.
But yeah, I imagine Jet goes up the mountain here. There are a few reasons not to. You know, Hera keys would be one. Without the hook shot, you can't, zip right to the top.
Unfortunately, all we got is a map and a compass, and the map was, again, his tower map, so it wasn't even remotely useful.
Hey, you get to see what's at the end of Ganon's tower. Hint, it's Agatu. It's always Agatu.
Even an enemizer, sadly.
But yeah, I invite Jet to make me a liar here, but I can't imagine Jet's doing anything other than going up the mountain here. With the mitts, mirror, hammer, moon pearl, you can
That's
full
a
clear
lot of
everything.
stuff.
That's probably going to clean up King's Tomb here first, but then he goes up the mountain.
Maybe he hasn't a back of escape yet either, so he might
probably
do
does
that
too. Yeah. But again, just clean up the quick things. Sahasrah's hut, back of escape is going to be nothing. So that's a little bit of time he's losing to Azder, who has already done it. So that's
how stacked is this pod? I mean, when you think about it. I mean, we have a mirror, we have a swamp small key, we have we're gonna get mitts. I mean, this is an absolutely stacked pod.
Especially for the chests that we have checked. Any of those items could have been in the big chest, for all we know, but they were not, which is really handy here, as they're forgetting to toss a bomb over ahead of time.
Yeah, it's not a huge time loss doing it that way, so
yeah, you feel a little foolish though.
Like, oh no, the restream is going to be making fun of me.
Yes, we are. I
don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal.
I don't either, but you got to humanize these runners a little bit. Otherwise, they just seem untouchable. Right?
I don't know. I've seen every runner I've watched make plenty of mistakes. So Azure gets his mitts, and then
I think he forgot that he had just got the mirror. He decided to death warp. I mean, heads up for setting it up. That's shows some presence of mind that you would have otherwise been needed had the mirror not just shown up. Oh, he's scumming the keys. Yeah, nice call.
Yeah,
there.
I think that was absolutely on purpose. So if this is something, if this isn't something, he'll reset because he will be able to save that key for the back later. And meanwhile, Jet's gonna turn in the Smith.
Yeah, probably into fake powder, I would imagine.
Okay, so that's a half magic and a piece of heart. Okay, he's resetting that.
Yeah,
I personally would not reset half
but
magic.
But in key sanity, you do not.
I would keep half magic, but he's a lot better than I am. So
yeah, I mean, I still
he'll be
feel
fine
like
without it.
You wouldn't use your only. I mean, maybe if he was thinking heads up, like, okay, I will for sure find another pod small key by the time I get back here, because he knows that they're all going to be,
Well, he could,
mitts.
he could choose to get it later if he gets an extra pod small. I don't.
But I still agree with not doing it. On just on the off chance that, well, hey, what if you don't? Now I still have it.
Oh baby, we are speaking of Ice Palace. That is where Azure is heading next.
Yep, it's not as bad as we were foreseeing because this is post Kane showing up. Probably factoring to that decision a little bit, the fact that he does have the cane.
But Fighter Sword and
Fighter Sword.
Yeah, you get, especially when he could go get the Master Sword right now, as Jet has already done, and is now dragging that purple chest.
For those just joining us and haven't the wherewithal to type mode in chat, this is vanilla swords, so they both know that there is a sword there on the Smith turn-in.
So yeah, I would have liked this a little better after the pickup of the Master Sword. Or if he'd gotten a fire on.
As you did just say, Azir's very good at this game.
Yeah, but he's playing another player that's very good at this game, so
yeah. And Fighter Sword is
Oh, hello,
pays
hook
off.
shot.
That's
That
great.
is huge. That is really nice.
That
mean-
chest is it feels like I don't know exactly how the distribution algorithm is programmed, but it feels like it really likes that chest. I've seen good stuff in that chest an awful lot.
Okay, Azder chooses not to hit the switch, which is fine because he has the big key. And the nice thing about this, he is clearing a dungeon. He is capable of doing this Ice Palace. Azder, a former world record holder of the newer, and really by new, it's about a year and a half old now. The new 3-heart low percent run. Now, granted, in that you'd have Master Sword, but you would do a lot of that cold stare fight with the hammer anyway. And he'll have twice as many hearts as he's used to in that fight.
So we haven't gotten a map check since picking up some maps. So we don't have any idea where those other pendants are.
Yeah, we won't get a map check. Actually, I don't know if we'll get a map check, really. I mean, it's just not that
useful to keep track of those pendants because, ideally you'd like to know whether it's better to try to pick up your third sword on Ped or in a Pyramid Fairy. Right now, I guess if you don't do one, you do the other, since Skull Woods is another 5-6. So if you don't have all the pendants by the time you finish Skull Woods, then, hey ho, you just go and grab it on Pyramid
Fairy. Makes sense. It's kind of nicer if you can pick it up in Pyramid Fairy, because that is an extra check, because there is a second item there.
Right. And then the alternative is, you like to see all the pendants by the time you do Skull Woods, otherwise you have to walk back just to pick up a sword there.
Yep. And you can have, it is theoretically possible we don't have, I don't think, well, I guess we don't know. The rare seed where you don't need mitts to do any of the pendants or red crystals, just because then you can skip the Smith turn-in, but I would not expect to see a seed like that. That's pretty rare.
I also do not expect rare things. Unless I'm playing rando, in which case sometimes I choose to expect rare things. Frequently disappointed, but often elated. Or not often, occasionally elated. This makes me feel super smart.
Well, the rare things that happen to me are usually the rare bad things, not the rare good things. Okay, so this is gonna be
it close on that magic. Maybe should have kept that half magic.
No, he's got plenty. No, the 2 magic pots there will give him enough to cast bombos. Since he doesn't have the fire rod to use anyway, it really doesn't make a difference here.
He's gonna go for the hammer, which makes way more sense than using that, whatever that is he's holding.
Yeah, that fighter sword, nice fighter sword.
I would like to take this opportunity to point out how as much fun as it is to beat a cold stare, with the better weapons, it is very, very much worth it to learn how to do this with fighter sword and hammer. Just especially if you're going to be doing some of the more non-traditional modes, where you often really cannot rely on that, azder up.
Yeah, yeah. It's
like if
azder
didn't
rare.
know how to do this, you'd be in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
he would have had to decide not to go to Ice Palace, potentially for a while, and he would have missed getting that hook shot. Now he picked up that hook shot, just has to sort of swing through Village of Outcasts to do the Smith chain. Later was able to tie that up fairly quickly, and Jet's not going to have a much faster time. Master Sword is barely any better.
It's a little bit better, but yeah, not much.
Yeah, it's not much faster. It's better, but not so much faster.
Okay, I gotta believe the mountain's got to be a plague soon for both these runners, especially with that hook
once
shot.
you find the hook shot, that's like, okay, you don't not go, because hook shot just makes it that much faster.
That's where Azder's heading right now.
Interesting note, since Azzer hasn't been to Catfish, there's if Azzer had been to Catfish, I probably would have considered it a pretty smart play to go to the Dark World, check Bumper Ledge, and then come up the mountain, but not having done Catfish has no real reason to think about doing that.
And I want to say Jet checked the Bumper Ledge, and it was nothing, but
I want to say he did too. I didn't see it happen, but it a great opportunity to do so, and I can't imagine he wouldn't have taken advantage of that.
Okay, Jet looks like, oh, he's down to 1 heart. Gonna have to be careful.
Honestly, I find the hardest part of this situation Jet's in right now being that whole, there's a slight amount of lag inherent in this battle, and it can sometimes trip you up when it's like, oh, you think he's gonna stop, but he keeps going.
Okay, as you're not going up the mountain. Maybe this is
going straight for that save and quit. Oh yeah, he probably realized, hey, you know what? As well
let's go get a sword. Maybe he's just now remembered that it's vanilla swords.
Yeah, I suppose. I was sort of thinking maybe the Swamp Palace play.
Swamp Palace. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That is a full clearable dungeon at this point. Well, okay, do we have the big key? We don't have the big key, but it is 9 items plus green pendant.
There is a possibility. Well, I guess I don't know how accurate the tracker's been since Azder's stream has been, skipping a little bit.
Yeah.
Jet's got 2 Turtle Rock Smalls. I can't imagine that Azder's really holding out for the possibility of clearing Turtle Rock on the way up there. But by the same token, if you've got Swamp to clear, you may as well go for it. There's nothing you can't do in Swamp right now.
Big chest, but hopefully that's just not a thing. You don't skip doing Swamp Palace for not having the big key. That big key could be in Ganon's tower.
Right there. Oh, never mind.
That's the
Turtle Rock. See that, and that's a good reason to have done this before going up the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when everything else you need for Turtle Rock is going to show up, especially with 2 medallions in hand. That and Green Pendant Swamp is worth an additional item. And in a seed where you have to be, or in a mode where you have to be so thorough, it can often really pay off to not give into temptation of rushing the mountain before you really have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's juicy, but they have a lot of juicy items in hand already.
Yeah, they do.
Really, like, what are you hoping for by rushing it? Fire Rod is kind of the most important item that could show up. You could make an argument for Flute, but neither of those are going to make them not want to do Swamp any sooner. There's nothing that's going to make Swamp more attractive, really.
And the other thing I'll point out is, back to the sword thing. In this case, the difference between, depending on your strats for killing Argus, fighter sword versus master sword is very little difference. I know the way Azure likes to do it was with the hook shot and the spins, and that's exactly the same whether you have fighter sword or master sword, as opposed to the difference that would make if you could manage to get a tempered sword. That would be a difference maker for Argus. As opposed to if you were, if you're doing the hammer strats instead and doing the menu fight or something. And Azure doesn't do diver down, at least not this version of diver down, because you'll see when he goes to the back, he does it using the left side, which is a little bit different and can't be done for this part of the dungeon. So he's just going to do this the old-fashioned way, to do left side.
But not the really old-fashioned way of doing it properly. Well, no, never mind.
Exactly what he's doing.
No, it isn't. It isn't the really old-fashioned way.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, the old-fashioned way where you don't have a key.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you don't have the hook shot.
That's what I was thinking of when I was like, wait a minute, what am I thinking about? Question whether or not I'm right, which happens a lot. So yeah, confirmed.
Looks like
Azder does have 0 TR smalls.
Yeah, it does look like Jet's doing the same thing. It maybe doesn't do the version of diver down that most people do to allow for that extra time save.
Yeah, and it's really not that huge, all things considered.
It's a small time save, yeah.
Right.
I don't think it's the
It's no
way
icebreaker,
people
it's no Harapot.
no, it's definitely not. Yeah, the way people seem to be doing left side swamp first in non-key sandy, because of the quote unquote time save of doing with Tiber down, I think is actually a little bit overblown. I don't think it's enough of a time save to do left side swamp first, unless there's a good reason. Like, oh, I don't know, it's key sanity, and oh, hey, there's a small key to Turtle Rock.
So that's actually pretty good news for
That's I would say it's more important for azder because he might never get that one in the big chest of Town.
Yeah, because there's since he won't get back there, but now you know, if the fire rod shows up, Jet might be en route to fully clear that dungeon on first mountain trip, which would be really, really nice. But again, fire rod has to show up for that. And if it does show up, there's no way we're not doing Skull Woods first.
Fire Rod shows up before we go up the mountain. Yeah,
right,
I would
exactly.
absolutely say finish up Skull Woods first.
Because again, you know, there's nothing you could find on the mountain that's gonna make Skull Woods any nicer for you.
There really isn't.
And that is one of the sort of hidden benefits to vanilla swords. Is a lot of the time it's like, oh, vanilla swords, you know, it sounds, you know, whatever. First time you play it, it's like, oh, actually this is awful. But sort of one of the benefits is again that you know, since you know where the swords are going to be, you don't end up hoping you find them somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Vanilla swords can get you too, though. Although this not being inverted, we're not going to see this happen here. But in an open match yesterday, there was a really nasty seed where it was inverted and vanilla swords, and the mirror in a fast Ganon seed, the mirror was in Ganon's tower. So they were stuck on fighter sword until they could get into Ganon's tower to get that mirror, because you can't get you can, if you don't have the mitts, you can't get any of the other swords without the mirror. Oh yeah, and swamp was a pendant, so all three
azder kind of messing
swords.
Up this strat here. It's a little trickier than it looks.
Oh, it's a lot trickier than. Yeah, this is not an easy strat.
Yeah, the last time I had a fighter sword Argus fight, it was unfortunately in boss shuffle. It was in Mothula's. It was in Skull Woods, and it was. Oh boy, I was not ready for that. I thought I was. I was not.
As you're switching to hammer strats, that surprises me. Usually better.
I mean, on half a heart, I feel like. It's
yeah.
Like,
okay.
You don't want to take the chance because you have to get 2 hits on the puffs with the fighter sword.
That is absolutely.
And it can hit you in the middle. And that is not a chance you want to take because you can't exactly know when it's going to happen. I mean, you sort of can, but yeah, you play it safe here, because.
Yeah, and only a being that
dying in swamp is like, no, this is an easy enough boss. It's not a hard boss, but it can kill you because it deals damage.
Yeah, well, the Swamp
Easy
Palace.
Thing to forget sometimes.
Yeah, Swamp Palace is actually kind of notorious for how much damage some of the things do in this dungeon. It's easy to forget. And you know, in the vanilla game, if you play it as intended, you're going to be near a green mail, so it's kind of a nasty shock into the dark world when you get there the first time you play this game. Okay, Jet looks like he's going to go to the mountain, and that makes a lot of sense for him. He's, with those 3 TR smalls, if he does find a fire rod, yeah, I do think he goes and finishes Turtle Rock. If Turtle Rock is not ether.
Find the powder?
That's a really good question.
I remember
don't
seeing
know.
it show up, but I don't remember why Jet doesn't have it.
Let's see. Where is azder gone? The Jet has not a whole lot.
Oh yeah, old man.
There it is. That's right. He started to go at the mountain and then took that powder and left.
Azder's closed this gap up. Sort of. Jet doesn't have much of a leg up anymore. Yeah,
the Jet's biggest advantage are those extra TR small keys, and the fact that if there's something in lava chest, or the last TR small keys are in really bad places, or I should say the last TR small key is in a bad place.
Nice thing to find.
I don't.
a good time to find the flute, I think.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, if the last TR small key is in a really bad place, or if there's something in the lava chest, it's going to be a while before Azure picks up that TR small in the in Thieves Town. We are going to see Hera right now. Not in logic because we don't have a Hera big key.
First bottle.
But we can do a
no,
Hera
never mind.
pot.
Second bottle. I had a little bit too much faith in the tracker to track that instantly for some reason. But even if our tracker does it, the tracker doesn't update instantly. So it's our second bottle. Have we checked Sick Kid?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Okay, as you're going to do the Dark World checks first, and do all the East Death Mountain stuff first, while Jet's going to go ahead and do Hera.
Yeah, with the small one of the other things about key sanity is if the small key to Hera shows up and you're in Hera, you don't skip the basement.
No, absolutely not. I like that Azure's waiting on this because Jet's going to have to orphan the big chest of Hera. To do this, and if you do this at the end of this route, then maybe you've gotten the big key, and you can still do Hera pot to save time, and just now you can also open the big chest.
Yeah, and it also takes advantage of the fact that we did ice first and found the hook shot. Jet, I feel like this is kind of roundabout. There's not a lot of advantage to doing this first, and there's a lot of advantage, as you just pointed out, to doing the other stuff first. And so if you do this after having found the hook shot, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because, if you find the hook shot, you're like, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this, assuming, if my opponent decided to rush the mountain a little bit, wouldn't be able to have this advantage. So you'd think about taking it.
There's a fire rod.
Fire rod. So
wow.
That's actually a little spooky for Azder, even though he doesn't know it, because again, that opens up the possibility to full clear Turtle Rock.
Not for him, it doesn't. He can't get
right,
very far.
Exactly.
He's only got one small key, so that's advantage.
But if Jet decides to go for it, and
Jet has to go for it.
Yeah, that's more than reasonable. Which is more valuable, being able to maybe get an important item, or getting one of the all dungeons that we have to cleared.
We did get a very quick map check, though. I did not see a whole lot of detail there. We're gonna get a spiral cave check over here from Azure.
Man, and that's like doing both dungeons. That's great for Jet. So. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. It may come down to Castle Tower Key 2, though.
These races often do.
Vanish in an instant if if Castle Tower Key is somewhere stupid.
Well said. Somewhere stupid is exactly right.
Interesting. Jet, based on inventory, has logical access to both Aga Tower keys. Azder still doesn't. Could easily get it. Knows where to pick up that Master Sword. But that. It could be something on those.
Okay,
and,
so
Azder not doing the dungeons.
No,
I think that's
he's doing
smart.
one right now. I think he's gonna do Skullwoods right now.
Right, but I think it's pretty smart to leave both of the dungeons if you know that you're TR small keys away from doing them both.
Sure, that makes sense.
Because he knows he still needs a couple, and what do you do? Full clear Hera, hoping for both of them to show up, or do you go back down? Clear everything else and hope that you can just Hera pot and have a super fast Hera by the time you finally come back up to do Turtle Rock. I think
or maybe
that's
you have
a
the
fair
big key
play to make. Yeah,
or maybe you have the big key. Yeah, because we didn't see anything in Hera except I think there was a pod small key somewhere, but I don't think that was in Hera.
Yes, so I think that's the reasoning there behind not doing anything. You either get a lot for your money on that mountain climb, or you cut your losses.
And I think we're finally going to get that sword pickup from Azure.
And again, that's another reason to, not even dip your toe into Turtle Rock, let alone Hera.
Mm-hmm.
Let's maybe pick up another sword first. Yeah, Sick Kid. There's a lot to wrap in here, and I think it's heads up because Jet has done the Smith chain already. Azder has not. This is a lot of stuff. You turn in the flute here. Then
it's actually kind of funny because. One of the reasons he's told me that he likes vanilla swords is it means you have to do the Smith chain, and here he is waiting this long to do it. So,
I mean,
it guarantees that there's something on the Smith.
It makes sense to leave it until this point because
from his
he's been clearing
yeah,
dungeons.
no, he's
and
been
stuff.
fine. Yeah,
So-
his Swamp Palace, I don't think would have changed. I think basically because like I said, that strategy that he was using to start with doesn't change with Master Sword. Ice Palace might have been a little bit simpler, but he did a very nice job on that Cold Stare fight.
And again, that's one of the biggest. A lot of the time in Rando, that's one of the things in my experience that sets apart the higher skilled players is they can just do that when they want to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whereas for a lesser skilled player, they'd be like, oh, I could do this, but I might lose a lot of time to it. Having that confidence to know, like, I'll do this. I might lose a little bit of time, but I'm pretty practiced in this. I know I can do it.
Yep. Exactly.
It really just opens up your options of how you can route.
Okay, now
Lets you save a lot of time.
I don't see him doing. Is he gonna do the purple chest now? Maybe. I mean, with the flute, it's not too bad. Okay, he is gonna do it now. Gonna do that powder check as well.
Yeah, powder and probably Cave 45 because Jet. Did Jet do that first? No, Jet did.
No,
Cave 45.
Has he? Have we seen Cave 45? Because Mirror was in Pod. No, I don't think we've seen Cave 45 because Mirror was in Pod. I don't remember
exactly how early he did this.
And I want to say that they did those checks.
He did it after Pod. He did
do it
after Pod because that's when how he turned in Smiths. He had the mirror.
Gotcha. And I think this will be the Turtle Rock play from Jet right here. And for Jet, I think this is the right play. He can clear this minus the lava chest.
Yeah. So the downside here potentially for Jet is if azder is able to come back up here and go mode both Hera and TR. Because right now, the plays Jet's making is you have to do this. You got.
No, this is absolutely the right. This is the right call for him.
And azder, with the information of that fire rod showing up, not having the small keys to do both of those dungeons, full clearing none of them, I think is a reasonable risk to take.
Yep, I agree.
And so if it pays off big for azder, this is kind of a, again, not a bad play, but unfortunate for Jet. But until such a time as it becomes possible for azder to do that, it is still very good for Jet. Being able to do this on the first trip is nuts good.
Yeah, I mean, these, as you say, there's still a lot of things to find. We still need a bow.
There's a lot that can happen, but Jet is feeling good about this.
There's still a bow outstanding. There's still that Castle Tower small key outstanding. Eastern big key, pod big key. There's still a lot of things that we're missing before we can finish this game. We don't even know what the medallion is for Misery Mire. That could be an issue. So a lot of things that still need to show up. There's that Thieves Town small key.
Yeah. So and pointing that out, azder is making the first trip into Skullwoods now with the fire rod in hand. So both of these dungeon dives are relatively comfy for both these runners. azder knows he can clear every dang thing out of here. Jet knows he can't, but again, a full clear of Turtle Rock is a full clear of Turtle Rock. I mean, not a full clear, but a dungeon clear of Turtle Rock is a dungeon clear of Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so far, what we see in Turtle Rock is a shovel. A nice TBD fetch quest item.
If it's the last TR small,
that'd be hilarious.
that would be GG's for azder, I feel.
Well, it certainly wouldn't help him.
Yeah.
There's the other Turtle Rock.
So yeah, there's the other one that Jet had. Okay, so that's not so bad.
But yeah, I mean, that's just the game making fun of you.
Refresh my memory. There are 4 total, right, in chests?
Yes, there are 4 total. Yeah. Everything's in logic with 3.
Almost for sure, it's going to be either last location or
yeah.
Not
so everything is in logic with 3 except the lava chest, which Jet is going to skip right now. He's going to steal this key and not check the lava chest, and of course Trinex. Because you have to choose.
The other CT key showed up for Jet, looks like.
Yeah, I didn't see where that was.
Probably in Chain Chomp chest, because
probably
that's the last thing he
in
opened
Turtle Rock.
that I didn't see him do. It was right side.
So Azur's gonna get that. Yeah, that's not gonna be an issue.
That's a nice thing about commentating is we have our excellent, often overlooked backup crew watching things that we don't have to.
Well,
Making us look
tracker,
good until I point out that we actually are very
Reg
bad.
on tracking today. I mean, one of the best, and we couldn't do this without him. So,
yeah, as always, shout outs to the behind the scenes crew. They are honestly the best.
Okay, as you're showing us that Mothula is one of the few bosses that actually gets damaged by sword beams.
Yeah, and it's not that you get to take advantage of that all that often, since this boss is designed to basically take sword beams away from you.
Well, I don't know the bosses. The spikes certainly are.
The spikes are part of the boss, in my opinion. This is one of the bosses I always say that doesn't get shuffled in boss shuffle.
Yeah, because
there's
the spikes
literally
don't get
only
shuffled.
one boss that's nice to fight here, and that's Moldorm, because he doesn't know what to do and just kind of flails wildly.
And that was another. Looks like we got another pod small key there.
Yeah, so that's wouldn't have mattered if he save scummed that key or not.
No, wait. Because it says that Jet has 6. Okay, let's watch his menu. Azure kindly does not use quick swap, so we can actually check menus on him.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, honestly, because we have that extra pod small that both of these runners saved. And really, the only thing we super care about is going back there and fighting the boss.
Yeah, but the
if we
question
need
is, I saw the text say pod, Palace of Darkness as far as keys, but was it the big key or the small key? Because if it's the small key, then the 6 on Jet is wrong. And if it's the big key, then it's the
well,
big
we
key,
know that
and that's
the small keys were all.
Oh, never mind. There's the pod big key. Okay,
yeah,
well there
we
you
know
go.
that all the small keys were logically locked by.
Okay, maybe it was a
Nyx.
map or a compass that fooled me.
Either way, that big key showing up is good news.
Yep.
We do still need the bow to full clear that dungeon, but let's.
Yeah, we're
check
still
one
missing
off
the bow.
list. And we
We're
have
still
this
missing the bow. We're
nice desert
still missing big keys to desert.
No,
We're
yeah,
still
big key
missing a
desert.
big key to Eastern.
That small key that Azder scouted earlier. Jet still has no idea it's there.
There's
What
that
was it
Turtle
from?
Rock Small.
Turtle Rock Small. So
That
that's
was a Turtle Rock Small. So that's Turtle Rock Small number 3. So
almost poetically working out for Azder there. Remembering that small key was there. It's the one he needs. Now he doesn't have to go down to Thievestown. So
and
this is
frankly,
much better for Azder than it was before he found that.
If it turns out that the lava chest is something, then they're both gonna last location. It's so
yeah. And like, what are we hunting for at this point? We're hunting for bow
and big keys to desert and Eastern. And the desert one's a little scary because we don't know yet whether desert's a crystal or a pendant. If the desert palace is the last pendant, then that could mean that big key to desert could be in GT.
Yeah.
Oh wait, someone said okay. Hitaka in chat saying that Jet has the desert palace big key. So
it's not in GT because I'm fairly certain Jet has not been there yet. That has not been a place that Jet has deigned to grace with his presence.
Eastern big key in Turtle Rock, apparently. Okay, so Azure will be getting that.
So, that's rude, I would say. Because, how are they supposed to have Tempered Sword for Trinix? If
apparently they're not.
Come on, Seed.
But, Jet,
that being said,
had no trouble.
Both of these runners are going to have
should
very
have
little
no trouble.
So yeah. Jet, fairly good Master Sword Trinix fight.
So between the runners, we're just missing the bow?
I think so. So, and again, you don't need the bow up on the mountain. So Azder in a pretty good spot to clean up what he can down here. If he finds the bow, he's gonna well, I guess he can't finish off Eastern if
no,
he was up there.
Yeah,
but,
he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to go mode from TR and Harry. He might be able to go mode 1. If we knew where that desert
risk doing Harapot just because.
Oh, he will.
I feel like that's the one. It's like, okay, you're skipping one item, and that's definitely worth the time save, and it's going to give him a leg up on Jet over that clear. And Turtle Rock, go mode Turtle Rock isn't really that big of a deal. it doesn't save that much time over a non-go mode.
In Key Sanity, actually, it kind of does. Because there's a lot more you can skip.
I guess, because you can skip that front.
But he's not going to be able to do that. At least not.
But and it's certainly not as significant as the Harapot versus no Harapot.
Yeah.
You know, straight just one and done. What, it becomes like a 3-screen dungeon.
The Harapot versus no Harapot is significant if we don't find the Harabig key.
Right.
Because if you have the Harabig key, it is still a time save. But the time save is not as much as having to search out the Tower of Harabig key. Especially for Azder. Azder's not one of the better Harapotters. He can do it and will do it if necessary. So where is this bow going to be? We can just find it somewhere in Misery Mire.
It's probably a green pendant turn-in.
Could be. They both have a green pendant and can turn that in.
I have a pretty good track record at calling up bows on Restream, so I'm just gonna call it out Babe Ruth style.
Oh wow, and Azder down to 1 heart here. So he's gonna have to be very careful.
He won't have to be, but he probably should be.
Yeah, you think? I don't know what was in that second bottle, but I don't think it was a fairy or a potion that'll help him out. Okay, chat's saying that desert is our last pendant. So a bit of a shame if that's the case. Let's see. Yeah, if that's the case, a little surprised. Since apparently it was on Jet's side that we saw that. A little surprised that Jet doesn't go do desert here first, before Skullwood, so he can get that tempered sword, and just get it on pad here.
Yeah. And again, that Mire is full clearable as well.
Yeah. And as we're seeing from Azur's side. Nice clip through the rail there.
He hasn't scouted it, obviously, but where did that Ether Medallion show up?
That's a good question. Maybe it was under the doorstep, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it was needed for Mire.
But yeah, either way, being able to full clear Mire here is just really nice for Azder. You know, had to turn around and make another mountain climb, but is really sort of making up for it with being able to. The thing you worry about most with making multiple mountain climbs is that it's not the only time loss you're going to be taking. But Azder has sort of been fortunate enough to be able to be pretty efficient outside of having to do another mountain climb. So being able to, you know, get what you got on the mountain and feel okay about that is really nice.
Now this Vidi fight's not going to be fun. No bow.
It's fun. It's always fun.
This is going to be a tough one.
Gameplay is fun. Video games are fun.
This is going to be a tough Vidi fight.
But yeah, it's
without
a
a
tough
bow.
Fight.
Man,
and without either of the invulnerability items, because he still hasn't been to Catfish. And don't believe he has Spooky because when he did Desert.
No, he's bombing, so no, he doesn't.
Maybe he just likes bombing things, but yeah, I would imagine that he does not have Spooky set up. Spooky is handy, but not a big time save per se. Especially in this kind of situation where you really want to keep your options open, depending on what you find.
Okay, Jet finally turning in his mushroom. Gonna find 3 bombs there. In his case, since he's got powder, no reason to reset. And as you're gonna do some damage boosts, but he can't do too many because he doesn't have a whole lot of hearts. Like this heart differential.
Yeah, because if you don't, this is a long.
Oh no, you do it as long as you can, but you can't do it for as long as you'd want to. Jet having 11 hearts to Azur's 7 max hearts. Gonna have an easier time with that.
Green Male, he is dead on 1 hit now. Really, basically could afford to do 2 more damage boosts because it's all the same at the end of the day. Still can't get hit.
Okay, all the little eyeballs are down now. It's just a matter of playing a little baseball here, or using the. Oh,
Now
that's
to
rough.
find out if
Oh,
yes,
he's
okay.
got a fairy.
I was like, I thought that's.
I knew he had a second bottle. I didn't know it was in it.
I'm pretty sure Azder did though.
Yeah, but I
because,
don't think you want
if
to
you're
use
not
it.
keeping track of what's in your bottles, you're not as good as these guys. I'm just going to give them that credit.
Sure.
Just for granted, that they're keeping track of that stuff. Maybe they're not, but they can pretend they are, and nobody will question them.
And just a green 20. At this point,
It's
I think that's
all right.
still. I think that's
If
still a
Crystal's
mail
better.
upgrade.
Um,
Because Azure with so few hearts, I don't think he's run out of pieces of heart or
Yeah.
heart containers to pick up yet.
it's got to be the other male.
And of course, it's not a sword, so. And we're gonna get a checkerboard cave check here. Then I think Azure has to go back up the mountain and do those dungeons. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to save time on them. There's the ether. Was sitting there in desert.
Yeah.
And a small key to Ganon's tower. Are we missing any small keys? I don't think we're missing any small keys. I mean, there's 6 pod keys, but whatever. Yeah, I don't think we're missing any.
No,
any
he's
small
gonna
keys
go
at this
here
point.
and go pick up his bow from the hospital. Oh, you laugh, but
I laugh because it'd be funny either way. Either it's funny because you're making it up, or it's funny because you got it right.
Don't give away my secrets. That's how I keep the crowd entertained.
Well, I said it was funny either way. And we get
The bow.
okay. I will no longer doubt you.
Like I said, I've got a good track record with calling
Unfortunately-
out those bows.
Unfortunately, without the Eastern Big Key, that doesn't give him that big of an advantage.
Yeah, he can clear pod here and hope
I think
to
he
find
will.
it. Which is a little unfortunate because Jet's gonna be able to do both of those unless he really feels like putting off that that green pendant check. That being said, I also feel like there weren't that terribly many other places that the bow could have been from what we've seen.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Azure, this is advantage Jet. Because Azure's going to finish pod, and then he's going to be forced to go back up the mountain to finish up those dungeons. But when Jet finds that bow, that puts him in go mode.
Yeah.
And, he's only got a few more dungeons left to
And-
do anyway. So Azure's
it
got
is
a lot of catch
especially
up to do.
unfortunate given that Eastern Big Key location.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, if the Eastern Big Key was not up on the mountain, that would be a totally different story.
Yeah, because Azder isn't going to be able to, get that. Okay, well, I have to make 2 mountain climbs, but at least the second one is, but no, it's going to be 3 mountain climbs for Azder, guaranteed. Could he have made it all the way to the big chest? Could a clown route have saved
With
him
2 keys?
here?
Yeah,
with the one
potentially.
he had at the first.
With
time.
1? No. No, wait, no, hang on. It's the big chest.
Big chest? I think so, because you need
yeah.
one for chain chomps, one for crystal roller room, and then one
Yep.
to get to the boss. So a clown route could have saved him here, but
Yeah, could have.
We can only dream about clown routes. But it's possible that that Jet puts off that check a little longer than necessary. But Jet is
Yeah,
running
what
out of
else
things
does he
to
even
check.
have at this point?
But this has been I will say it's been a very good route for Azder. Because really only being bitten by the inevitability of having to come back down and go back up again. If that big key wasn't exactly where it was, this is a completely different story. This is a very competitive race.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunate that he didn't do Skullwoods before he did Swamp Palace. That definitely hurt.
I guess Jet found a bow on Landmos, and we missed it entirely.
Oh, Well,
because
then-
because we were so busy paying attention to Azder that we forgot that when Jet was doing that, he was going to full clear it because Azder couldn't because it didn't have the Desert Palace
Yep.
key yet.
That's right.
So yeah, that's silvers for Azder. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, at this point, definitely Jet's race to win or lose, as the case may be.
I mean, if
however you want to
if,
put it,
if Azder finds those silvers, do you think he just?
it doesn't matter if you don't get
Do
silver.
you decide? Do you decide? I'm just wondering. Do you decide
He won't.
not
No,
to go
he
out of your
won't.
way to pick up tempered?
He won't get silvers. This is hard mode.
Oh yeah. Well,
He'll get a green 20 when he beats Landmo.
I always forget because I feel like
Yeah,
it
I
does
think the
still
one.
take silvers away from you. I'm thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, hard item functionality.
Is silver's disabled
you get-
outside of no? Outside
Yeah,
again?
no,
Is pool the one where it's gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's one exception if it's swordless, but we're not swordless.
And remind me again, functionality is the one we're not doing, right?
Yeah, this is hard item pool. Yes.
Okay, 'cause I always forget. Because they're always kind of like functionally the same for me.
Well, chat's saying you get silvers, but you can't switch to them. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
and that's functionality.
Yeah, that
'Cause
sounds
they
right.
are disabled outside of Ganon. Because obviously
That's right.
that hard item functionality can't be the one where you don't get them because hard item functionality doesn't take anything out of the item pool because that's what a hard item pool does. Meanwhile, Jet gets a really, really handy bow for Vitreous fight. And yeah, this is not looking great for Azder here. Unfortunately. It is looking great for my track record of calling the arrows, though.
It sure is. Which we might never have known if Azure had gotten that. If Azure had been able to full clear desert like that.
So I think Jet going here to pick up the Tempered Sword before comboing Pod Eastern. And that makes a lot of sense because it's a little out of the way to do Pyramid Fairy, and the bonus of finding the other item is kind of nil at this point.
Yep, getting that tempered sword on Ped makes a lot more sense here.
Yeah, because
Just needs to go do Eastern Pod, and he'll be done, ready to go to Ganon's Tower.
avoiding doing pulling the Ped is slower if there's kind of another reason for you to route the pyramid in. But Jet being in go mode has really no.
Well, I mean, he could do
ulterior
East.
motive to doing
Yeah,
that.
I mean, he could do Eastern, but then do Pyramid. Pyramid's actually pretty slow too. So,
I mean,
just do it now. It makes more sense.
It's faster, I think, to pull the tempered and take the time save on Helma and combo these both together.
Oh, for sure.
Then it
But
would
you don't
be
wanna-
to find any way to get to pyramid.
Yeah,
Like the
Pyramid
only
at
way
this
I
point
can
is
see
annoying.
Pyramid Fairy being faster is if you've already cleared Ega 1 at this point, and then
yeah,
can
that's a
sort of
good
do
point.
the fast strat.
Okay, this will be the finish of Pod, and we have 3 small keys, so doesn't have to worry about checking these other locations though, since he is in go mode. And there's really nothing more he could possibly want. Like this is hard mode, so not gonna get silvers, not gonna get another sword, and of course this is vanilla swords anyway. Not gonna get a mail upgrade. Has the safeties that you can get in powder and cape. Blue cane really doesn't do much for you, so this is no reason for Jet to pick up anything at this point. And Ganon's Towers can be super quick as well because we don't have to do the base spin all.
Where was Jet's third TR small? Was that in Hera?
Jet got one in his third one. He might have, no, because Azure hadn't been inherited. He had 3 TR smalls. He got the one in Thieves Town. There was one in Skull
Right.
Woods, and
Was there one in Skullwoods, or
Yeah,
was
there
that
was- there was-
that was the Thieves Town?
no, there was
small?
one in Skull
Okay.
Woods and the Thieves Town small. They were both in Skull Woods.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think left side. Yeah, left side swamp sounds right. That's what Itaka's
Oh
saying
yeah,
in
left
chat.
side swamp. And they both did swamp before the mountain. So. And that's
So
the
Azure
only
had
that's
w-
the only one Azder had.
Yeah, Azure had 1, Jet had 3, and really, in the end,
Yeah,
that's the
and-
difference. That's
yeah,
the difference in this race. That's what this race came down to.
Combined with the fact that there were 2 big keys in
Yeah, exactly. The fact that Jet was able
Turtle
to
Rock.
just do Turtle Rock completely when he was up there the first time, and the Azure couldn't and chose not to do any of it, which, you know, is a fine decision. There's no reason.
Yeah, I mean,
you
like I
just
said,
can't get very far.
he would have been saved if he'd completely clown routed that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
would
I
have been a
don't- honestly-
really questionable decision, unless this was like one of those races where you're sort of like, okay,
So-
well, maybe I do this, and you're playing against like 10 other people.
Honestly, I disagree with the clown route there. If you can, TR just has so much stuff and so often has progression that honestly, I don't think it would have been a bad call at all for him to do it. I don't think it was a bad call for him not to do it. It would have been a bad call for Jet not to do it.
He didn't have the mirror at the time, so
he had the mirror.
being able.
Yeah, he had the mirror.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did have the mirror. Okay, so yeah, if you don't have the mirror, then it really doesn't make sense because then you can't even go as far as
Yeah, you can't do. Yeah, yeah, you can't do Mimic Cave. But there's a lot of like TR has stuff all the time. Like
yeah.
I mean, to quote Koi, who's a very smart runner, if you're up on the mountain and you can enter TR, go into TR. Whether you can finish or not, just you're on the mountain and you can go into TR, go into TR, and that is, you know, it's one of those philosophy that doesn't, you know, there's no philosophy in Rando that works every single time. So I'm not gonna say that, you know, it was a bad decision for him not to do it, but I don't think it would have been a bad his decision for him to do it.
It would have been a spicy play for sure.
On the other hand, Jet not doing it, I think would have been a bad decision because he could finish the dungeon.
that would have been silly. Like it was like, you know, maybe I'll come up the mountain again and do it later. Like, especially when you can get all the way to Laser Bridge, because Laser Bridge is the really juicy part. Azder wouldn't have been able to get there.
Yeah, and to update everybody in chat, Azure is having technical difficulties. He's not
just in a dark room.
like that. Yeah, there you go, without a sword
or HUD. It's a really dark room.
Okay, Jet gonna quickly finish this up. Eastern.
Yeah, but suffice it to say, Azder is probably somewhere in TR right now.
Yeah, probably doing the mountain stuff, and they'll, you know, like we said, come back and quickly do these other dungeons. He'll be forced
muttering under his breath all the while.
Jet kind of messing up the quick kill here a little bit, but he's got lots of arrows, so this will not be a problem. He has plenty to get through the mimics. This actually can be a little scary if the possibility of Ice Armos is a thing. But since we're not going to be doing any of GT Basement.
We might. I mean, probably won't, but, you know, we could. We don't know the future.
Jet's not doing any of GT Basement. I feel confident in saying that Jet's going to go straight up.
Well, I mean, so do I. But, I mean, let's not discount the possibility. The possibilities are endless. The future is ours to decide.
Well, I mean, if you could find a way to make him do the basement so we can get the race back close at the same time, fix it. Even then, it wouldn't. Look at the screen. It says you're a witch, so, you know, use your powers.
I mean, even then, it wouldn't be a particularly exciting change to make, since we have no idea how close Azder is.
At this point, no.
Couldn't even make the argument that it's for the fans here, unfortunately, as they're having some internet issues. Just one of those things, you know, one of those darn things about the internet. Sometimes it isn't there. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really do anything about the future because both of the bows have been located. So I have nothing else that I can preordain for us here.
Yeah. So is that the only thing you got? It's the bow.
It's just bows. It's
just bows.
It's really
Okay.
just bows.
Okay.
I've tried with hookshot before, hasn't really worked out. Bows, pretty good track record. Anyway, Jet entering Ganon's tower. If you guessed 0, you are correct, because that's what it's going to say on the end screen, because we already have the GT big key straight up. Just Aga 2, then Aga 1, and then Ganon left for Jet.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is kind of the portion where not much to talk about other than the hopefully good play.
Yeah.
Because we've seen everything, and there's no reason for Jet to check any of these chests whatsoever.
Couldn't hope to find a mail upgrade. Couldn't hope to find a sword, even if there was another one to get. No silvers. So,
Yeah, like like I said, the luxury items. He's got both cape and
well, he doesn't have the half magic, but
half. Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have half magic.
Whatever.
We know where that is. He's not gonna look for it though.
Yeah, but all in all, this was kind of a race of it could have gone. It really could have gone either way for a very long time.
No, well, I mean, with 2 top runners like this, yeah, absolutely.
And as it so often happens, and you know, again, not to discount the player part of it, it came down to item locations, and
randomizer does that.
right, and it's again being able to play to that well is sort of all about, you know, taking into account what decisions can you make that sort of cover you in the widest sort of number of scenarios, and making and sort of adjusting on the fly to that. And I again sort of want to go back to, you know, Azder's decision to do nothing on the mountain, because not being able to do any of Turtle Rock, that was kind of a wise play to potentially sort of reduce the impact of knowing he had to come up the mountain again, almost certainly. Because the alternative was that all of his other TR keys were in Tower of Hera. That's certainly less of a safe bet to make than
for sure
going back down with the flute and fire rod and clearing up what you can there. And unfortunately for him, it didn't really work out. But hey, you know, it's
it's
game one. It's game one.
I still take it back to the Skullwoods play, and the fact Jet doing Skullwoods before Thieves Town. I think just being able to grab both, thus being able to have the 3 Turtle Rock small keys, because I have no doubt. I don't know whether Azure would have gone and done Hera or not. I don't think whether he did Hera at that time or not would have made any difference. There was nothing there. But him not doing Turtle Rock, that's where all the stuff was, and that's what the keys led to. And yeah, him not having the TR small keys when they went up the mountain would have made this a much different race.
Yeah, and Jet was really helped along by the location of the other bow too, in a place that he could do because of having done Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
if he had been forced to search for that green pendant, it might have been a little bit. He would have gotten it, but it might have been a little bit closer.
Maybe a little bit.
Sort of able to go mode right after that. There
just weren't that many places at that time for him to go.
I'm trying to weave a narrative here.
There we go.
Yep, Azder's internet issues have resolved. Looks like he is just cleared.
Yeah,
he didn't grab his tempered sword, so I think he's going to go do pyramid.
He's doing pyramid fairy. And I mean, let's see. I mean, he's not missing anything. Again, I don't know if this is faster or not, but since he wasn't near the ped pool, and he hasn't. Oh, for him it is, because he hasn't done these last 2 dungeons. He's gonna do Hera into GT. He still has to do Desert Palace. Actually, I keep trying to look at the pendants there on his tracker. Sorry, on his menu. Okay, I want to say that I think he has done at least
as good as our trackers are. It's we can't really rely on what the on-stream tracker says right now. Jet, excellent job with Aga 2 there.
Yeah, they can't see when the stream is down. Oh right, that's where one of those keys was. That was the desert big key. It was the pyramid ledge, and that is why.
Ooh, that was a bad spot for that to be. Oof. Yeah, because that's how
Yep.
Jet got the cape too. Aw.
Okay.
At least this he's trying to apologize there to azder. You know, less than 3. I still love you. Yeah, azder also in the future a little bit here. We did have to add a little extra delay at the start of the stream in order to you know, have time to make it actually happen for you guys. It was a very quick turnaround an hour and a half ago. So azder again living in the future, but still trailing behind Jet by a significant amount off the back of those 2 big keys.
Yeah, totally forgot about. And I remember when the Jet picked up when he did, and then totally forgot about it almost immediately afterward. That's pretty bad.
And you know, the all dungeons is definitely a good counter pick to the key sanity, but unfortunately Jet winning his key sanity pick here.
Okay. Agate Tower, not too difficult when you have all these items. Game doesn't normally, when you play this in vanilla, you don't normally have a tempered sword to do this. Not to mention things like fire rods and...
Or the amount of experience with the game that these runners have.
there's that
You're not
too,
typically expected. This game is not designed around people playing it for thousands of hours.
Really? Yeah, see, there's that 20.
These days you do get games that are based like that, but
so
back in the day, the idea that they would play that much of this game was kind of nobody really considered that.
Okay. Anyway, so so for those of you that were wondering, confirmation there, as you're picking up that green 20 on land mode, that was a bow for Jet. As you will head over to GT.
And Jet gonna pick up this refill right after this Aga battle here. We don't have a game for this one. I suppose it's a little late now, but we can get our guesses in for
number
blue
of blue balls. You know, I always mention it and I always forget to count, so, you know.
And for the uninitiated, there's four attack cycles between each lightning. The first one is guaranteed a reflectable attack. Looks like that was 0. That was 0 blue balls.
Yep, it's going to be the same for both runners, so it's not no advantage can be gained or lost there. And the nice thing about the nice thing about having to do Aga 1 right before Ganon is you get that nice free refill. Yeah, Jet doing a nice job so far. Avoiding those fire bats and just got hit. With green mail.
Right, yeah, it's all right though, because the first phase of the battle is the first 2 phases are the ones that are designed to kill you. The second 2 phases are the ones that are designed to knock you into the holes that he opens up in the 3rd phase.
I would argue that if you don't know what you're doing, the last 2 phases are designed to kill you as well. But...
Oh, for sure. But I mean, at this point in the game, you're expected to have the red mail, so you're really not taking that much damage. And he actually does take a significant hit in his damage output for whatever reason. And I assume that the intention there was to knock you into the pit, because you are designed to you're not supposed to necessarily know about the silver arrows, and you're supposed to have them for this fight. You don't need them, as Jet is describing right now, but I believe the hint tile down underneath the fight here is the one that tells you about needing the silver arrows to defeat him. And so that's why they lower his damage output in the second part of the fight, in order to increase the likelihood that the player is going to trip up while futilely struggling against him and fall down the pit rather than getting straight up killed. sometimes it is fun to go back and remember how this game was played the first time through, without doing all of these bizarre things, poofing Ganon into nowhere, as Jet finishes up this fight and gets ready to cross that 1x3 bridge to victory for the Phendrana Drifters here.
Yeah, still undefeated for the season. And we'll cross that bridge with an official race time of 1:37:32. We're gonna see if azder is gonna finish this out. We're gonna see if we can get both of them into the interview right away.
Yeah, we did start this match a little bit late, and as I'm sure most of you are aware, we do have a stream delay. So both runners are in fact, already done.
But that'll give Jet and the Phendrana Drifters a 1-0 lead. And while we're waiting on interviews, we do have the other matches all scheduled, also matches in the other series. So tomorrow we'll have Phendrana Drifters versus Shackles Jingain. That'll be Frostbite versus Aussie. That'll be the casual boots match. Come back and on Sunday at 9:10 we'll have the open match, and that'll be Hitaka versus Megawatt. The other series will continue Saturday at 4:10. That'll be Scholzer versus Sailor Nep. The Triple Dino Disasters versus the 2019 Titan Smiths of 2019. And if you want to see some bizarre modes, I'm reading here that's going to be Swordless, Overworld Enemizer, and Key Sanity. I believe I heard that was also be Fast Ganon, so there's a lot of stuff that's going to be thrown at those runners. And having watched Sailor Net play over the last few rounds, she's had some interesting modes to deal with and has done a pretty good job for her team.
The later stages of these playoffs are, especially in this Invitational League, is it's something to watch.
Yeah, I mean, in Sailor Nep almost single-handedly bringing her team back from a 2-0 deficit in the last run. And
the aggressive mode picks are just like, I need to do everything I can to throw my opponent off their game,
sometimes it's just Sahabot being Sahabot. And we are joined by Jet here. GG's Jet.
Hey, GG.
And congratulations. So it puts you up 1-0, still undefeated on the season.
Thanks. This, I have to say, went a lot better than my practice seeds. Both of my practice seeds were around the 2-hour mark,
not a lot of
if
snags
not
for you
worse.
this time. You didn't really... You kind of sort of ran into everything you needed. Didn't really have to question what your next step was going to be too much. That being said, I think the sort of divergence point for you was your decision to go into Skullwoods first, which allowed you to get the Turtle Rock big keys. So I know that's a fairly standard play to do those sort of as overworld checks, but I don't know, any insight onto how what you were thinking at that point in the match?
I like to, when I have hammer and just a regular glove, not mitts. I mean, you either have to go through the bushes or head north to Skullwoods, and I just like to do Skullwoods first. Especially, I go back and forth over doing the big key chest because that is a little more time consuming. I had Kane this time, so I felt like it was a better call. But just you get 4 things in the front. It's a really quick check. I had a key for Skullwoods at that point, so you can just do a really quick sweep and get 4 items. So it's just a quick
makes
dip.
Sense. Yeah, and that got you a Turtle Rock key straight up, and then it got you the Thieves Town small key that got you a second Turtle Rock key, which when you went up to the mountain gave you 3 Turtle Rock keys, allowing you to full clear the dungeon. Azure, not having those keys, only had 1 Turtle Rock key at that point, and thus avoided it and missed some of the stuff that was up there.
And the second difference maker, not as big, because it wasn't as big as forcing that second mountain climb on Azder's side, but your decision to sort of route the sort of right side Dark World Catfish into Pyramid earlier on got you the Desert big key, which allowed you to pick up your bow in Desert Palace.
Yeah. Again, that was another 50-50. I was thinking of just doing a save and quit after Bomb Shed and just running over to Pod, doing that, and then maybe heading north to Catfish. But I'm like, you know what? I just feel like I could do a quick run. Maybe there's something good at Catfish. I actually expected something from Catfish rather than Pyramid, but I'll take what I can get. So it's just sort of like I was just trying to think, like, how do we do all the things in one quick run? So honestly, I felt pretty good about my route. I think the only thing I'm disappointed on is when I went back after getting boots, like early on. I went back just to check the bonk rocks, and then it was like 30 seconds. It was so not worth it, though. It was like a red roof or something.
Yeah, there was nothing there. Yeah, you also got
that was my one regret. That one, and maybe doing a little bit of cold stare, but we survived, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, you posted. Well, you both did a low cold stare fight. Azder decided to do it with just fighter swords. So.
Azder waited forever to pick up that master sword.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, as soon as I got those mitts, beeline, get yourself a master sword. Especially because I knew I was going into ice, and I'm like, I don't really want to do fighter sword cold stare. I'm just gonna go get, and there's a couple checks too. Go get my master sword right away, and then go right into ice.
Yeah. So moving on, you have Frostbite versus Asi, and then Hitaka versus, oh my god, I'm forgetting, and I shouldn't.
Megawatt.
Megawatt. Thank you. I was about to get
Megawatt himself.
Yeah.
At Megawatt.
So, how are you feeling about moving forward?
I don't know. I have confidence in my teammates. Go team.
Yeah, we are going to see Azure now in the Ganon and the Aga 1 fight.
But the twist at the end is that Aghanim was Ganon all along.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you weren't wrong. Yeah, that. How about that 0 blue balls though?
Always nice.
I thought we had one. There was one.
I was pretty sure it was 0.
I would trust him to have been paying more attention.
Because I'm pretty sure it was the second hit after the first lightning cycle. It's possible that I miscounted. I am well known for not really paying attention as I commentate races. I mostly guess at item locations most of the time. Azder into the fight though. Pig throwing the trident around.
So you got your bow at Landmo, but the other bow turned out to be on green pendant. So we had the amusing.
Really?
Yeah,
I had that for ages.
Yeah, I mean I knew that all along.
I was sitting on it because I wanted to do it when I went back.
You see how it says? I don't know if you're watching the restream at all at this point, but if it says in parentheses the witch after Asmar because he kept saying green pendant is going to be the bow. Green pendant is going to be the bow. I was just going to go pick up his bow at green pendant, and sure enough, there it was.
Man, I was sitting on all of my fetch quests for ages, and sort of waiting for flute and everything. Yeah, I don't know. That green pendant was just gonna burn a hole in my pocket, and I never checked it. And it was bow. It worked out really well though with Lambo dropping bow. Like that was sort of ridiculous.
Even if it hadn't, I mean. At what point would you have chosen to go check that one? That probably would have been.
Man,
you had already checked Mushroom at that point, so probably would have been the next one, huh? It's a little quicker than.
I would full cleared. The big difference is I would have full cleared Mire rather than doing.
Yeah, that's true. Mire. You did pick up a lot of time there.
And I would have done. I didn't do checkerboard or Regina at that point, so I would have done those.
Yep. And we do have Azure joining us, so that was a rough one for you.
I thought it was fine after it got in Dark World. Like, I forgot Hobo because I forgot it was in Logic. Because I
tend to flippers early.
Yeah, like I was already thinking, like when I got flippers, I was already thinking about how I was gonna route like water walk stuff, and I realized I had them, and I was like, okay, so I can do this a bit differently. But then I forgot to set the flag in my mind that's like, that's in Logic. Now you're not supposed to skip it. But I mean,
yeah, and I know Hobo's not exactly your favorite location. So
I remembered on the way to Zora, so that was like a few minutes lost. Yep. But then I thought that the entire rest of my route was really efficient. So.
Yeah, the big issue. Well, I'm gonna say so. The big issue, the big thing that hurt you was not getting to Skullwoods before Thieves Town. Skullwoods had the Thieves Town Small and a Turtle Rock Small. Thieves Town Big Chest had the other. The Turtle Rock Small you didn't find was in the Thieves Town Big Chest. So you both hit the mountain at exactly the same time. Only Jet was able to do Turtle Rock, and he also did Hera, which didn't really make a difference. But the Turtle Rock had stuff in it for you.
Turtle Rock had Eastern Big Key, which
Yep.
opened up Pyramid Ferry, which incentivized going to Pyramid Ledge, which had Desert Big Key. I guess that was it. That was the entire go mode after that.
Only if you didn't wait on Bo like I did. I never checked my green pennant. They just told me that happened to be Bo. I was sitting on it. I actually got a bow from Lamo.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That was my bow.
Oh no, that makes sense.
That was my go mode, no last. Bo was
actually
go
thinking about
mode.
that. Yeah. Okay. Well. So you got to go mode like probably 4 more dungeons than I did.
I go mode Meyer. That was really the only. Well, and GT and Castle Tower, and I didn't fully check pod. I never did right side pod.
Okay.
Yeah, Azder did the mimic clip there.
Yeah,
Okay.
very nice mimic clip, by the way. Unfortunately, got you a couple like a useless map and a compass, if I remember correctly.
I mean, it was efficient. It was thorough. It was
and the save scum and resetting half magic, but I get it.
I went back and I got it because I was just like, I'm probably not gonna have tempered for Trinex at this rate.
Mhm.
And I suppose I could have bought a potion instead. It probably would have been around the same amount of time.
But how about your cold stare fight? That was pretty impressive.
That was fun. I was like a little bit regretting not getting the Smith Sword before it,
Mhm.
but I figured it probably wouldn't make a huge difference, and I was stalling for flute, and I wanted to do things that were like a little bit riskier, but could end up in a faster path, theoretically, because I wanted to try and make up time from putting off Hobo.
Hitaka's calling you out for your Argus fight, though.
Okay, that Argus fight sucked. I was just like, I'm getting hit by puffs that I don't think should be hitting me, and I don't understand what is happening, and my sword spins aren't working, and I'm scared.
But you survived it, so that's what matters.
Did you see the Vidi fight? I had some stream issues, but I don't remember.
Yeah, the Vidi fight
we got
was
the Vidi
on
fight.
stream. That was
That was scary. Thankfully, you had a fairy.
I forgot I had that fairy. I thought I was dead.
You ruined it. I gave you the benefit of the doubt to the entire stream.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you forgot you had that fairy.
Yeah, we had no idea you had it either.
We had forgotten as well. Oh, I knew you had another bottle, but I didn't think there was anything in it. So, but yeah.
So, what looking forward? How do you feel about the next 2 matches in the series? I mean, 1-0 is not a huge loss, and again, Key Sanity is going to be Key Sanity sometimes.
I mean, I was hoping that we'd finally be the ones to put a dent in this team, and I don't really think I did that many things wrong this match. So, if this is how it's gonna go, I'm not feeling too good.
Honestly, I don't think you did any. I mean, Rando's just gonna rando. Sometimes,
Yeah, I mean, we all sort of agreed on the, at least in the commentary and on the stream, that your logic was completely solid. We actually really liked the play of bailing on the entire mountain dungeons after doing the finding the fire rod and flute up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought that was very heads up.
I thought it was too, and it was just it just felt like it was.
I mean, it could have as easily have won you the race as it did lose you the race, but I mean that choice wasn't what lost you the race. It was just not having the keys.
Like if you abandon the mountain and and the stuff say is in Meyer or something, or whatever location you want to name, then you get to go mode TR later, which in Key Sandy actually is kind of significant, like compared to like a normal run where you have to find all the keys. Here you've got all the keys, you just go.
Yeah, I mean, in this seed, EPBK was in Big Chest, so we wouldn't have gotten to skip right side. Laser Bridge was a bit of a thing, but that's not that much.
Mm-hmm.
So main thing is, oh wait, no, sorry, EPBK wasn't even go mode. It was like Desert BK.
Yeah, for you it was.
I mean, you can also route. You could also have routed Pyramid Ledge in earlier for whatever reason, and that would have helped.
That's
too.
exactly what Jet did.
That's what Jet did.
Yeah, I did the north route, so I came from Catfish on my way to Pod. I did Thieves, and then I ran over to Catfish, did Pyramid, and then went into Pod.
Yep.
And that's sort of like I
okay.
lucked it. I'm like, and again, that was another thing. I had Desert Big Key and Desert Small Key for ages, but no flute, no book. I mean, I never saw a book, but no flute.
No book.
Probably,
We don't know what book was. I mean, probably.
Yeah, but it was probably in GT because that's about the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
thing.
Point,
You end
most
up not
likely.
checking in AD keys.
Honestly, I was like convinced Desert Big Key was in GT, but I was doing like I guess I was playing the long game for this seed, and it turned out not to be the play. But I just really thought like line everything up so that you can do everything on path, and that gives me the best chance. But it just didn't work out for this seed because everything was available pretty early.
Yeah, it really wasn't until that Eastern Palace Big Key showing up in Turtle Rock kind of sealed the deal.
Yep.
But it was sort of anybody's race until that really showed up.
It's really the problem with all dungeons. Like anything that pendant dungeons require, it just can be in GT, and that's a slog to get through. It's so nice when you still know GT.
And the Castle Tower keys can screw you over.
Oh, they were trolling me in my practice matches. I was surprised to get those sort of early as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very unusual, very different than my practices.
Yeah, that was another misstep from you, Azder. Was it looked like you wanted to go into Castle Tower a little early before you actually could. That was.
Oh yeah, that
was pretty funny.
That was kind of funny. We had a good chuckle.
We were laughing with you though.
I was
absolutely.
I was thinking I've got lamp and I've got one Castle Tower key, and I was thinking second CT key was the main reason that I couldn't do Aga. So because I was focused on what was preventing me from doing Aga itself, I wasn't thinking about how I was going to get in the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course it was kind of weird because we thought you'd do Dark Cross at the same time because you had the lamp, and we knew that was Kane.
I meant to do that, and then I forgot. And then when I ran out of stuff because I forgot Hobo, then I went and I did it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, okay, well, hopefully I can leverage this. Let's go do like Maya early. Let's go do TR early.
Yep.
And then when I get to TR, it's like, oh, I can. I actually have enough good items that maybe I should put it off.
Mm-hmm,
so it's just. Oh, it felt like a good seed though.
Yeah, Jet did it right away. A 3 hearts green mail with the fighter sword.
Wait, really? 3 hearts?
Yeah.
Rock?
No, Dark Cross.
Oh no, okay.
Which is totally doable.
In the dark.
Right? Yeah, you did. Yep,
okay.
you did.
Dark Cross.
Yeah, real Dark Cross.
That also makes sense.
So it was one of those things where it's like, well, he's probably gonna have to get there eventually, but there are other times to do it, and so and it wasn't a at the time a game-changing item. By the time it would have been, you had it, so it didn't matter very much. All right. So, anything either one of you want to add before we close this out?
I mean, thanks for being able to do the restream, guys. It's always good to be able to restream these races.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, huge shout outs to Kono Tyran for the excellent.
Oh my gosh, the amount of work that he's had to put in tonight. I mean, I don't know if you all understand just how much work that is. I've done it on the Super Metroid side. It's a ton of work, and you can't say enough for the amount of time and effort that he's put in tonight to make all this happen.
Yeah, and also big shout outs to Reg doing the tracking. Again, it's unsung heroes, but it's been
I sing their I like to say I don't like to call them unsung because I will sing their praises all day, all night, because without those trackers, wow, it just it makes our job so much easier to have those trackers, and I appreciate every moment that they spend doing it for us.
But yeah, but that being said, GG's to both of you. Your two teams, not you specifically, but you guys have another match tomorrow night, it looks like. It's gonna be on Speed Gaming. Tech issues willing.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch the rest of the series. But I kind of
And
believing
maybe
in that
play a
Clover
game
right
4,
now.
game 5. You know.
I'm kind of believing in that Clover, to be honest, though. Like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, that'll be
I'm-
Frostbite and Aussie, so that'll be another good one. That'll be the casual boot seed. And of course, Hitaka and Megawatt Sunday night at 9:10. That'll be the open seed, and the other series will continue on Saturday at 4:10. Shoulder versus Sailor Nep, and yeah, like I said, if you like goofy settings, that's the one to tune into.
What settings did they do?
I don't. It doesn't show right, but I believe it includes swordless, overworld enemizer, and inverted. I think there's a fast cannon in there too. So
Okay, that sounds fun.
so definitely gonna want to tune into that one. So we're gonna want to tune into all of them. So Open Link doesn't start up again. It looks like until Tuesday at 2:10. That'll be Ramon versus Krellbell on the Oops da War es auch nicht. I can't speak German, but
Oops,
that
da
basically
war
means
es auch nicht.
well done. Basically means oops, it's not there either versus okay game. So that'll be another one to keep an eye out for. So yeah, I think that'll do it. Unless anybody else has anything else to add. So again, thank you to Esmar for joining me on commentary, especially to Wright for tracking. Again, Kono Tyrant, can't say enough about those two, and Kono Tyrant for doing all this setup. And of course, to our runners and all of you out in speed gaming. If you're not already following all these guys, go ahead and do so. We'll put the commands in the chat. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it for us. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 8:10, either on an ALTTP channel or on speed gaming. And hope to see y'all then.